There is a bright flash, brighter than the sun, brighter than anything you've ever seen.
Torches the house, but does not harm the children.
The atomic bomb flash could burn you. We hope it never comes, but we must get ready.
Used harmfully, as an atomic bomb.
And this is very, very important. Sometimes the bomb might explode without any warning, without any warning, without any warning.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Deviant. I am a moderator and a dungeon master for the Minecraft roleplay server Fallout: The Last Frontier. This video will just be going over how to get started on getting your character up and running so you can get on the server and just start playing with everybody else. And it can be a bit of a daunting process if you don't know what you're doing. So we're going to go at it one step at a time, and I'm going to introduce you to everything you need to know. To get started, make sure you have an engine account, just that you're signed in and everything's ready to go so that you can actually post your character application once it comes. For now, if you have that done, let's go and get started. So there's a lot of stuff here and you're probably like, I don't know what's going on. There's too much information. It's okay, just follow my lead. We're gonna go to forums, and then there's even more stuff, and it has a bunch of things, lore, systems, character cards. What's all this? Don't worry about it. We're just going to go to guides. Alright? And once we get here, we're going to go to player made guides. And after that, we're going to click right here on getting started on the Fallout server. And it's going to take you to this page where all the information we need is right here. So, let's get started. First, what you're going to want to do is creating a character application. You're going to want to click this first link. Once you have this, you'll see that there's a character application format, and what you want to do is just highlight all of it. Don't worry about what it says for now, we don't care, okay? So once we have this done, we're going to scroll all the way back up, and we're going to click right here to character applications. Alright? Now once we do that, we're going to click right here where it says new thread. Once we click that, boom, we have a new thread. So what you're going to want to do is paste everything you just copied here. I've already gone ahead and filled out my own little thread, and this will be the example we're going to be filling out. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing we're going to deal with is out of character information, and we're just going to be asking for basic information and some basic questions. So we have the in-game name. What's your Minecraft username? I have mine right here, Deviant. If you have joined our Discord server, that's fine, just put yes. If not, it's okay. Make sure to put your age and gender. You don't have to put these things if it makes you uncomfortable. That's completely fine and we understand. It asks you if you read our server rules, and the rules are going to be right up here. And you're going to want to read these because we will know if you read the rules or not. If you had any other experience with roleplay servers, just list it below. It's okay if you haven't. And just tell us how you found out about the server. What drew you in? Was it a post? Was it a friend? And then on a 1 to 10 scale, how familiar are you with Fallout? It's okay if you don't know anything about it. If you're completely new, it's okay. It'll just take a little more adjusting to get used to the world that we've made for you. If you do know, that's amazing. You have a head start, I guess. Next, we have power gaming and metagaming, and these are two important rules that we want to make sure that players understand. If you went into rules, you've already seen it there. However, we want to make sure that you can put it in your own words and explain to us what it means so that we know that you know. And then give us an example of both situations. Once you're done with that, just put in the state name for where we're currently located in the story on map. Currently, we are in Arizona, but you might want to make sure that we're not somewhere else in the future. If you're watching this a few years ahead or something like that, just ask on Discord and we'll be glad to help, I'm sure. And we're here in character information now, probably the fun part. But this will also be the part where you're going to be confused a lot with all the rules and stuff, but that's okay, because I'm here and we'll do this together. So it's just basic start off with, right? What's your character name? Does it have to be anything specific? What's their age? And if you do want help with the date of birth, I recommend the current year of the server is 2289. So if you're trying to find the date of birth, just subtract your character's age from that number and you'll have the date of birth. Next, just put in your gender, and then this is where things start to get a little iffy. What I mean by that is that now we're getting into the systems of the server. We have the race, sub-race, trait, what's all this? It's okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the tab of the guide that we pulled up. So we're gonna go to right over here to where it says races and sub-races. You're going to want to click on that, and here we have all the races that are available for you to play as. We have normal humans, we have ghouls, we have things like the super mutants. If you are familiar with Fallout lore, you know what that is. If you don't, it's okay. We also have robots you can play as, and that will require a different application that we won't entirely go over in this video. Right now we're just sticking to things that apply to the other races. But once you choose one of these, go ahead and put it down. Make sure you also put the sub race, because that gives you a special perk depending on what you pick. So for my character, I've chosen Wastelander Human, and so we have that. But now we're going on to traits. So let's go back to the guide that we got, and let's go right down below to traits. And here we are. So these are all the traits that we have available to the server. If you're familiar with Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 1 and 2, you know that in those games they give you access to traits, things that really defined your character. Here they're sort of like level 0 perks, as they don't have a real drawback, but they will define your character in what way you see fit. So once you see one that you like, or once again just gonna go and put it in here. Next we have height and weight. Just put in whatever seems fit for your character. I made this guy sort of a stout, maybe a little bit overweight for his height, but just do whatever you want. Next we're going on to character personality and appearance, and for these next few options it's really up to you of what I would recommend putting as much as you can into the character personality, because it will really help you understand how to roleplay this character once you start playing. And once you do that, you have most of the work cut out for you for when you hop on and you want to start roleplaying. So with character appearance, what I would recommend is that you just go sort of bananas on what you want, but just make sure that you can confine it within the reality of this world. This is a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland, so make sure it sort of fits that theme, and also that it can be obtainable within a Minecraft skin. Literacy skill, just go ahead and put whatever you want. This might be correlated to intelligence, which is something we'll go over later. And then we move on to opinions. Just put here what they might think about the certain races. And then we have alignment. And this is one of our systems as well. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the forum page. And we're going to go all the way here to alignment. And as you can see, these are all the alignments we have. We have a sort of D&D-like system where we have neutral, good, lawful, and all that jazz, but it's more complex in order to help define your character. So just look over these and see which ones you think are good for your character. For mine, I picked Ascendant, so it's sort of a neutral, evil, leading lawful kind of guy, so maybe he makes really poor decisions for people around him and himself. He respects authority, but so long as he has a high social status, just try to think of how your character is. One other thing I will note for alignment is that it's not exactly how your character will always act. Sentient creatures are much more complex than that, so it's more of a guideline on how to vaguely roleplay your character and give you ideas of how they might react to certain situations. Next we have, what are your character's goals? Do they want to rise a settlement? Do they want to search for a missing person in their life? Maybe they want vengeance on a creature that took off their arm. It can be anything you want, and the more you give in this section is the more that we, the DMs, can maybe make up a quest personalized for your character. Don't count on it, but think what pushes your character on a daily basis to keep living in this wasteland. So here we are at character creation. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Fallout and how the games have worked there, special is and define your character. So I will go over those attributes right now. S stands for strength, P for perception, E for endurance, C for charisma, I for intelligence, A for agility, and L for luck. So with all these attributes, they will define a certain aspect of your character and how well they will perform doing certain tasks. And while we are here, I'm going to show you something. In case you are playing another race that isn't human, I'm going to show you what we call the min-maxes, and this is just how many points you can allocate to a certain special stat. So as you can see here, Humans only have a 1 to 10 that they can put into any of the special stats. Ghouls have a variety of options. They can only have 1 to 9 for charisma. Super mutants can be really strong, really hulking creatures, but they're not that intelligent most of the time, and most of them tend to be rather dull. So just keep that in mind. They don't have to be this way. It just depends on what you're trying to create. And the robots here, they're special. Like I said, we're not going to go over their specific character application that you need to use if you're going to play a robot, but those are the stats in case you were wondering. So once you have that, just go ahead and dedicate those 40 points to wherever you see fit. I've put this guy as some sort of suave charisma type that's a little bit bulky, a little bit husky, so he has a little more protection, and he's can endure a lot more than the average human. I would recommend that you make them a little more drastic. Have a 4 in certain special stats so you can boost another one up, just to give your character a sort of weakness that you can sort of roleplay as. It just makes it a little more fun, but it's optional for you to do so. We started getting close to the end here, and right here we have skills. So we're gonna go back over and we're gonna take a good look at skills, because it might be a little confusing on how they work. See, skills, they have certain ties to one of the special stats. So as you can see here, big guns is tied to strength. So the higher your strength and the higher your big guns is, means the more modifier you have to rolling for big guns. And the same goes with all of these. Energy weapons and intelligence, explosives and perception, survival and perception, medicine and intelligence. We have a lot of things here that can be based on your special stats. You can put these skills however you want. You have a maximum of 5 to put in whatever skills you want. Here I've made this guy even better at speech, so whenever he tries to roll for speech, he'll get at least a +6, and I'll go over how rolls work in a different video. But for now, let's just continue on and make our character. Here we have Minecraft skin. It's pretty simple. Just upload the skin that you're going to be using. Make sure it does match your appearance and that it is within reason for this world. And here we have the real player expression part. This is where you're going to have a backstory for your character, and you're going to tell us, where did they come from? How did they get to Arizona? What have they been doing? What's created their morals? And what morals do they have that has been shaped by the wasteland? As you can see right here, we ask that you write 3 well-written paragraphs to tell us everything about your character. It can be more. I really wouldn't recommend that it's less, because that's a higher chance that your application will get deferred. But yeah, so really have fun with this. And as this is probably the most creative and enjoyable part of making your character. Now that you're all done with that, we have one more thing to go, and that is the desired items. We're gonna ask that you don't tell us that you want guns or armor. These things have been proven to be rather OP for a character to start off with. Ask for small things. You can ask for a small weapon, such as a combat knife or a shiv. You can ask for medical items like a stim pack. If you've played the Fallout games, you know what that is. But also sort of mementos from your past. Maybe in your backstory you explained that you had a father that passed down this family heirloom. You can say that you have that on you, and we'll be sure to give you something that would resemble that best once you log on the server, and those will be your starting items. Alright, congratulations, you've filled out the character application. All we're going to do is fill out the subject, the name of this thread. I would recommend naming it something like this, though you don't have to. It can just be whatever you want. And then once you're done with that, just go ahead and post it. Once you've posted your thread, it will take some time for staff to come over and look at it and get it accepted. It might take a few hours, it might even take a day, but no longer than that usually. I will say most people do not get their character accepted their first time round, so don't be too disheartened when it doesn't happen to you. I know we've gone over this, and by doing this you've increased your chance to getting accepted on first try to a pretty high degree. But just in case you don't get accepted, don't worry about it. You can always try again, you can always fix it up. Fix whatever the staff member told you to fix, and once you're good with that, you're more likely to get accepted. Alright, so that's pretty much going to be it for this video, but before we leave off, I want to talk to you about one important thing before we close out the video and you get your character accepted and you start playing on the server. This is a pretty serious topic, not because it's something really rule grounding, but it's something that I think every player should know, especially new players who are new to sort of D&D systems like the server we have here. And that is, When your character dies in game, that's it. Your character is dead, and they won't be able to come back. You'll have to make a new character like we've gone through, and you'll have to do it again. So while you might have put in a lot of time into this character, try not to get too attached to them. It's okay to really like your character, but don't go overboard and put everything you spiritually have into this character, because it will be heartbreaking when they die, but it's just a game, and we need to remember that we're all just here to have fun, and part of making another character is fun. So I just wanted to warn you guys of that in case of some future incident where your character might die. But with that being said, this concludes the video. I hope you guys have learned a thing or two by watching this. If this hasn't answered a certain question you had about character creation, go ahead and join the Discord. A link will be in the description, and you can ask us there. Other than that, I hope to see you guys in the wasteland.